Siamo a Dubai per provare.
We're in Dubai to test the boat that was designed and built here in the Emirates. This is ORYX 379, a model that gives rise to a new generation for this brand.
ORYX
is one of the brands of Gulf craft, and the new generation ORYX will have bigger and smaller models than this 379. Luxury and speed are the key to success of many high-end sports cars, and the same philosophy was adopted for this yacht. It's an 11.5-metre long open yacht showcasing its engines, 3 outboard 300 horsepower Mercury engines, and has a technological pilot position from thrust levers to chairs. This highly technical look is combined with the very elegant setting. Its profile showcases original windows on the side, designed with beautiful symmetry. The crystal windshield is designed to deflect the air and protects the cockpit properly. The T-top at certain latitudes is necessary to shelter from the sun or protect you from bad weather. It's supported by an aluminium structure which seems to go across the roof, but it's only for aesthetic effect. On the quarterdeck there is a sun deck surrounded by handrails, useful for when you are lying down and when you want to move around the deck. The cockpit is traditional with regular shapes, but provides plenty of space when you're seated. And the driving seats are swivel seats. At times, designers go out of their way to showcase impractical lines and effects, but here they manage to achieve everything that you truly need: space, comfort, accessories. Under the sun deck in the hull, there's room for 2 inboard-outboard engines. There isn't a bathing stepladder, and you arrive at the bathing area by going through 2 long corridors. What we've seen so far is interesting, but what we're about to discover is even more important. Below this 11.5-metre long deck, there is a perfect cruiser for 2 couples. If you're a couple, you could use the dinette this way, 2 sofas and a table in the middle. From here you can enjoy the sea view, you can watch TV from any seat, and you can use the aft cabin to stay overnight. It's completely furnished and has windows. If you have children or guests, you can book the bunk bed under the dunnage for them, and you can transform the dinette this way with the double bed. The furniture and the wall that separates the bathroom are made bearing in mind the same essence. Look at how the kitchen is organised, cabinets up and down. The bathroom is countermoulded for maximum practicality. You need to know that this is a prototype, and future models will provide even more space and height on the inside because they've lowered the dunnage. The list of accessories is endless and provides everything you could ask for from a high-level yacht, including a gyroscopic stabilizer.
Queste poltrone sono regolabili, potete avvicinarle.
These armchairs are adjustable. You can place them closer or further from the helm, and above all, they're cushioned. Well, the manufacturer decided to let you steer in a comfortable manner. At the stern we have 3 outboard Mercury Pro XS engines, 300 horsepower, for a total of 900 horsepower. We begin to sail, bringing it on the plane with Dubai in the background. 12 knots, 3,000 RPM, 60-litre consumption. We're already in plane position.
Su uno scafo di questa dimensione, e ancor più su scafi più
On
piccoli,
a hull of this size, and even more on smaller hulls, it's important to have maximum waterline length, and they've obtained it with almost vertical sides.
il vantaggio è una
The
maggiore
advantage is greater longitudinal stability and higher performance.
il parabrezza.
The windshield is not only beautiful, for the moment it protects quite well.
Il T-top.
The T-top is rather light and therefore does not influence the barry centre too much.
A proposito di peso, questo modello è il prototipo, il primo che hanno
Since we're talking about weight, this is the prototype, the first model they've built, and we wanted to test it immediately. Future models will be better because they'll be 2 tons lighter, as they'll be made using vacuum resin infusion.
Verifichiamo comunque le
We
prestazioni.
check the performance in this situation as well. Then the results will be even better. We're at 20 knots, 3,800 RPM, 110 litres per hour.
A 30 nodi, l'angolo di corsa dello scafo
At 30 knots, the stroke angle of the hull is reduced and becomes idle. In terms of speed and consumption, we're at 4,400 RPM, 140 litres an hour.
andiamo molto più
We're
veloci.
going much faster than before and consumption is even lower.
Hanno realizzato uno
They
scafo
built a hull so as to provide a lot of space to interior sections, but they didn't forget the importance of sailing work, and the deck rise at the stern is 18 degrees.
Questa barca si potrebbe pilotare
This boat can also be steered by 2 people, like yachts used for racing, because with this central console you can entrust the throttle to your pilot.
nel suo DNA, c'è
There's
qualcosa.
some racing DNA in this one, because the faster you accelerate it, the better you can steer it.
Siamo a 36 nodi, 5.000
We're
giri.
at 36 knots, 5,000 RPM.
Non devo far nulla, non devo neanche.
I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to correct the trim. I'm always in the lowest position with engines attached to the transom.
Mi porto a 40 nodi,
I get to 40 knots and I begin to test it while turning.
una costata lenta,
A slow approach for starters.
una controvirata.
Pivot turn.
Qui ci sono un po' di onde, ma non sento gli impatti.
There are some waves here, but I don't feel the impact of the blades. Very, very good. When you have such fierce engines, you can hear them.
Sentite? Bisogna provarli anche in accelerazione.
We need to try them while speeding up too. Let's go.
20,
20, 25, 30, 35.
È un open comodo.
It's a cozy, comfortable but fast yacht.
E quanto?
How fast does it go?
Saltiamo un po' sulle onde, ma
We're jumping a bit across the waves, but we're not hitting them.
le linee d'acqua quindi
So the water lines are just right.
i pattini devono avere la giusta inclinazione e anche
The blades must have been in the right incline and right size.
stiamo correndo a
And in the meantime, we're at 44 knots.
Ora considerate che ci troviamo con il serbatoio del carburante pieno e abbiamo
Now, think about the fact that we have a full tank and also 2 tons of fiberglass that makes the difference between hand layup lamination and vacuum infusion.
quindi credo che potrebbe raggiungere anche i 50
So I
nodi.
think that the final model of this ORYX 379 could reach 50 knots.
Per provarla siamo venuti a Dubai, ma visto il suo design, viste le sue
We came to Dubai to test it, but given its design, its performance and comfort, well, I think we'll see it in other marinas around the world.
altre marine nel mondo.